ACF meets in Kaduna, our consultative forum. Slams leaders for laxity, barks northern candidacy for 2027. 5 soldiers, 30 Boko Haram fighters killed in Borno clash. Jos residents protest rising food prices despite harvest season. On the foreign scene, 4 Ghanaian UN peacekeepers wounded in Lebanon rocket attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has again raised concerns over the myriads of challenges bedevilling the region. The forum, during the National Executive Committee meeting in Kaduna, also frowned at certain policies of leaders within the region that are allegedly adverse to the development of the North. Here's the report.
Members of the National Executive Committee across the northern state convene here to discuss issues affecting the region.
It is not in doubt that the North is currently under siege. Our dear region is not only being viciously attacked by bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers, but by sinister devices like disproportionate considerations and inequitable political treatments. I do admit that some policies of the current administrations are repugnant and adverse to our interests as a region. ACF believes that certain policies and behaviors of our own leaders within our region need some critical evaluation.
The forum also expressed dismay with manner leaders in the region are handling critical issues affecting northerners.
To what extent are our elected leaders demonstrating prudence and concern for our domestic and environmental problems? To what extent are our governors and legislators synergizing with our traditional rulers in combating ills that exist within our region? Illegal minings by foreigners aided by our own people exist in some states. What local strategies are on ground towards arresting this vice?
In a communique issued at the end of the meeting, the ACF said, poor electricity supply will continue to hamper effort to ameliorate poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment in the region. They say these have to be addressed immediately. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Defense Headquarters has confirmed a surprise attack by Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists targeting troops engaged in stabilization operations in Gubio local government area of Borno State. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Wilbur, in a statement said 5 soldiers were killed, 10 wounded, and 4 declared missing during the assault. He, however, said the troops eliminated several terrorists, recovery of weapons, and destruction of equipment, including 1 gun truck, 3 TCVs, and an excavator. He also said a reinforcement team supported by an air component was dispatched to pursue the attackers. A military source said the insurgents launched multiple assaults in an attempt to overrun a special military force stationed in the Kareto community of Gubio local government area. The special forces had recently arrived in Kareto and begun operations such as digging trenches to facilitate the return of displaced villagers when the insurgents launched their attacks. Over in Zamfara State, the police have detained a 58-year-old Algerian national for alleged trans-border arms trafficking. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Mohammed Dalingen, who made this known in Gubio on Tuesday, said the police recovered 16 AK-47 rifles during various raids within the last 3 weeks. He said the command also recovered 1 double-barrel and 1 locally made pistol from a suspected arms manufacturer based in Jos Plateau. The police further said also detained some illegal gold miners and recovered several mining excavators. The commissioner warned that the federal and state government's ban on illegal mining was still in force. The Nigerian Senate has commended the military for its prompt response to attacks carried out by Lakurawa terrorists in some communities in Kebbi State and parts of the Northwest. The Senate urged the military to collaborate with local communities to establish early warning systems to detect future incursions. The upper legislative chamber also called for sustained vigilance in the affected areas to prevent the crisis from spreading to other parts of the country. Here's more from the National Assembly.
These resolutions were reached on Wednesday during plenary following debate on a motion sponsored by Senator Abdullahi Yahya representing Kebbi North.
Senate is aware that a group of terrorists from neighboring Burkina Faso and Mali, known as Lakurawa, has infiltrated the country through the Nigeria-Niger border at Ilela, Tangaza, Silami local government areas of Sokoto State, and are there. And from there, attacking communities in Augi and Ariwa local governments in Kebbi State.
Senators warned that failure to act decisively could allow the Lakurawa group to expand its operations.
This Lakurawa movement is a terrorist movement. They came from Mali. They control the whole of northern Mali. Mr. President, I support all the players of this motion. We need to nip this in the bud. It's too serious for us to allow to take it lightly, because these people are well armed with sophisticated weapons, and I believe they even have some international connections. Therefore, there is a need for the government of Nigeria to take this matter very, very seriously.
I thank all my colleagues for their contributions. The security of lives of Nigerians is important to all of us, and security belongs to all. So thank you for bringing this, and I hope these motions that we have made today and all the resolutions so far will help to forestall the new group from gaining prominence in the country.
The Nigerian military has, however, vowed to crush the group in no distant time. Meanwhile, the Senate on Wednesday removed Danladi Umar as chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The lawmakers, after a closed-door session, reconvened and invoked Section 157, Sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, officially removing Umar as the CCT chairman on allegations of misconduct. 84 senators signed in favor of his removal after deliberating on a motion presented by the Senate leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele.
The Senate resolves to invoke and activate the constitutional provision as enshrined in Section 157, Subsection 1, by forwarding an address supported by two-thirds majority of the Senate, which shall be acted upon by Mr. President for the official removal from office of Mr. Yakubu Danladi Umar as the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Will the Senate now confirm the invocation and activation of the constitutional provision of Section 157, Subsection 1, as enshrined in our 1999 Constitution as amended, removing the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal from office as a result of acts of misconduct and acts unbecoming of the holder of such an office? Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Umar's removal paves the way for the official resumption of Abdullahi Bello as the new substantive chairman of the tribunal.
As the economic reforms of the present administration continues to impact on businesses and households, Nigerians have been lamenting the negative impact on the purchasing power of their finances. With a less-than-kind business environment, businesses are severely hit, with many adopting drastic measures to stay afloat. Chamuda Bank has more in this report.
As Nigerians often say, the struggle is real, as businesses must now grapple with the reality of high inflation rates as well as high energy prices. Nigeria already has a less-than-kind business environment, with over 50% of businesses tanking within their first 5 years. Today, the struggling economy continues to put a strain on businesses and consumers alike. Over the last 16 months, Nigeria has dealt with a consistent hike in its inflation rate, which currently sits at 33.88%. Among several factors contributing to the situation, the dollar stability and high energy prices seem to control the scoreboard. In response to Nigeria's economic decline, the price of goods and services has skyrocketed to 100% and more. However, consumers aren't the only ones feeling the pressure, as keeping businesses alive has now become a near impossible feat.
With the volatility of the economy, it might just happen to be that on that day we wake up, prices have gone up, changes have happened, dollar is now 1,000 plus, fuel has gone up, is now 1,000 plus. Meanwhile, we're buying for probably 30%, 40% cheaper, and everything changes overnight.
Unfortunately, several Nigerian businesses are dependent on importation for products and materials, meaning that we are left at the mercy of the dollar, which of recent has fluctuated between 1,600 to 1,900 naira to the dollar. And in order to keep up with the current economic climb, several businesses have had to make major adjustments. As the economy struggles, businesses have had to explore cost-cutting measures to maintain a healthy profit margin, even extending relief to staff by reducing working days.
And we've also gone into buying materials in bulk, because the variation also always happens in material. So we realized that if we're getting into a project, we can buy all the necessary materials we need at the beginning of the project. Then we store them to use them over time. As we're building within 12 months, we already have everything stored in our storage room. So we don't need to buy and buy again over time. As the prices changes, it doesn't really affect our prices.
For larger businesses, the options are broader. However, with smaller businesses, the juxtaposition is clear.
Forget that this thing is business. Sometimes when you buy that product so much and store, and people don't come and patronize you, the thing will get stale. So we don't like that. So we now buy according to how we have seen the business now. It's not flowing the way it used to flow like before. So everybody is trying to adjust.
The final consumer has been the one to carry the weight of the price changes. With prices so high and income remaining the same, the purchasing power of Nigerians has been cut in half. Despite this, many understand the plight of entrepreneurs.
I don't fault them, because as a businessman, in first instance, why are you in business? You're in business to make profits. And then let's say you buy stock, and then you buy this stock for $50, and then you sell it for $55, only to go to market the next day and find out what you're buying is $75. You're already out of business, right?
The issue is the demand and supply of the economy to the market. But at the same time, whatever they bring to the market, they pay for transports. And we know that the cost of fuel has increased, which invariably impact on the cost of the commodity, because definitely the sellers will want to recoup back their cost of transportation to the market.
According to economist Dr. Emeka Okengu, several of the cost-cutting measures employed by entrepreneurs are not alternatives, but a tough pill to swallow. He encouraged entrepreneurs to become innovative.
Because for me, the alternative will be, how best they're able to source their raw materials at maybe cheaper rates. How they're able to reduce their energy costs. Because the three basic things that impact on production will be: one, energy; will be two, cost of production; will be three, cost of transportation and storage. So it will be, for me, the alternative will be how are companies, or what are companies, doing to rein in these factors. That would be the alternative. Raising your costs has its consequences, because the consequence number one is that no matter how good your product is, and no matter how much people want to, desire it, if they can't afford it, they won't buy it.
Nigeria's waning economy has pushed some businesses to take unsustainable measures, which have resulted in shrinkflation and a significant drop in both quality and quantity of goods and services. According to Okengu, the federal government needs to step in by subsidizing transportation costs and providing tax holidays for entrepreneurs. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still staying in the North Central, over in Jos, the Plateau State capital, residents are lamenting the high cost of food items despite being in the harvesting season. They're wondering why prices of foodstuff keep surging at a time they are supposed to go down, considering that foodstuffs are in abundance in this season. Adamusa tells us more in this report.
Before the current economic hardship, food items used to be cheaper and more affordable during harvest periods. This year, however, the story is different as food items continue to rise after dropping for a while. Residents say this development is scary as no one knows how much people would have to pay for food items after the harvest.
Before we used to buy a bag of rice, 45,000, 50,000, well, you are earning a salary of 150. But now you can't afford to buy a half bag of rice. We're in November now. A major, they normally sell it 2,400, 2,800. Well before, around this season, you can get it 1,000 naira, 1,200.
We used to buy local rice from 500 naira to 1,000 naira, but today we buy it at the rate of 2,300 naira. This is too expensive. Newly harvested food stuff are in the market, yet prices are surging. The government should look into this because people are not finding it easy. We don't know how expensive food will be before the next farming season. We are surprised at the way things have become so expensive in the country. We are in the dry season when food items are expected to come down. However, the reverse is now the case. We blame the government for what is happening. The chairman of traders at the new market, Murtala Inusa, told Trust TV why prices of food items are increasing by the day.
One factor that pushes the prices of food
items up is high demand. However, another factor contributing to the problem is the hoarding of food items by some dealers. They refuse to let the prices come down even in the villages. If you go to the village with money to buy food items, you won't find them. Dealers hoard the items and later sell them at higher prices. The chairman also said for the price of food items to be stabilized, the government must be involved as a regulator. If the government really wants the prices of food items to go down, it should checkmate the activities of those holding the food items. The government should also import food items from other countries to compete with the local ones. Unless the government takes this step, there will be a problem because these dealers have enough money to buy up all produce cultivated in the country. While prices of food items continue to rise in the country, the federal government has continued to urge Nigerians to be patient as it works to address the ever-increasing condition of living in the country. Adomusa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Over in Jalingo, Taraba State capital, residents have decried what the term insufficient circulation of Naira notes in the city, describing the situation as the major challenge, especially with the Christmas and New Year celebrations just around the corner. The situation, according to them, has led to congestion in banks' premises as a result of low or no dispensing of cash at almost all ATMs within the city centre. Here's more in this report.
Some POS operators say the situation has greatly affected their business as it is gradually becoming almost impossible to get cash from banks, as they can only get 10,000 naira from them. According to them, this has made them to increase charges to enable them meet up with their expenses. To be frank, we are finding it very difficult to run our business. If you go to the bank, you can hardly get 10,000 naira, compared to our customers who demand maybe 50 to 100,000 or even more. As a result, we have to bribe the bankers with some amount of money to get enough cash to serve our customers. To make up for the difference, we add more charges.
It's we that are operating POS that is affecting most. As you can see, the essence of operating this POS is to assist customers to make easy withdrawal and deposit. But as you can see, for like close to a week now, there is no cash. Even when you go to bank, You can't get cash. Even the customers buying other things now, nobody is using cash. They can only do transfer.
Some residents blame commercial banks, whom they said have failed in their responsibilities. Some who were seen at the bank premises are waiting patiently to withdraw cash from the ATMs, wondered why festive periods always come with cash scarcity.
We cannot tell the challenges, of course, because we don't know actually what we're in Nigeria today. Because during the cashless, we were informed about the cashless. But this one, not information, not nothing. The richest ones are enriching themselves, leaving the poor ones to be very, very poor down there.
We've been finding for money everywhere and we can't get any. They say there's no cash. We have entered the cashless policy. So which we have not been enlightened ahead of time.
We are not finding this easy here. And you can see there is crowd and the money is restricted, so people are suffering.
You've been in the bank always, but for us to withdraw money, sometimes the money you're expecting wouldn't be the money that you receive from the bank. So the issue it may be from the money or something like, see the place is very crowded and some may have while some may not have.
Residents fear that if the issue is not addressed soon, the nation may return to the pains Nigerians faced during the currency redesign period.
Ahead of the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Kano residents have been speaking out on the prevalence of gender-based violence and its attendant effect on victims. To this end, they have joined members of the organizations campaigning against gender-based violence to identify critical gaps in current efforts geared towards addressing the menace. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim tells us more.
The 16 days activism against gender-based violence will run from November 25th, which is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, which is the Human Rights Day. In Kano State, the Women's Health Empowerment and Emancipation Initiative, along with other groups, have been discussing what they feel are the most urgent issues affecting vulnerable women and children as regards gender-based violence.
For gender-based violence, I treat more than 120 cases concerning the gender-based violence, from the family issue, from schools, from community, that's from the society. There are different cases concerning the husband and wife. There are different cases from Almajiri cases.
People are taking a note, but sometimes there are issues that the community keep quiet on them due to what will come back later, like stigmatization or something like that, like victims of rape and other cases similar to that.
There are budget every year, and then all these budgeted are done to protect the happenings of what is happening now. And all these monies you see, they have been released. Sometimes they are not released. But to make optimum use of the money released is the problem.
Despite some progress, these abuses continue to destroy lives, with many survivors facing systematic barriers to justice, healthcare, and support. These concerned citizens identify these critical gaps in current actions or a lack of actions altogether.
So when you come in Kano State, only you are talking about gender in the communities. There is gender in workplace, even the politicians, companies, and other places in the state. We need to sensitize people to reduce that gender-based violence against women, to stop it.
The matter sometimes is too large. You see both the family from the woman, both the family from the man, all of them will just came together. They will say they will not agree. Since this man beat my sister, I'm going to revenge. You see, from there, then the case started going. The government need to involve into the case and see how the matter need to be settled at home, not taking the case to the court. With that, we need a mini court that will settle the family issue.
It is part of our failure when there is no accountability in government. All these things are happening. And we are here to see how we can bring everybody into accountability against these ill happenings in the society.
The issue of protection of gender-based violence victims is a collective responsibility, where civil society organization and individual in the community has to contribute through reporting cases of gender-based violence to the appropriate authorities.
The message is clear. Urgent action is needed, not just for survivors, but for prevention of these crimes. By strengthening laws, improving access to justice, and offering community-based education and support, a safer future can be secured for women and girls in Kano State. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
The Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, has issued 5 key demands to the federal government following the commencement of a 7-day warning strike which began at 12 a.m. on Monday. National President of the association, Professor Muhammad Aminu, made this known at a press briefing at the MDCAN Secretariat at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital in Kano. The demands put forward by MDCAN focus on critical issues affecting the welfare and working conditions for medical and dental professionals in the country. Meanwhile, all medical and dental services provided by MDCAN members in universities and hospitals nationwide have been suspended.
Our demands are the federal government should immediately relieve the chairman of the Governing Council of Nnamdi Azikiwe University of his appointment as a council chairman. 2. The federal government should develop an all-inclusive prototype of advertisement for the office of the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor. The MDCAN NEC demand for the harmonization of the retirement age of medical consultants to 70 years. The MDCAN NEC demands for harmonization of payment of emolument of medical lecturers with consolidated medical salary structure. Our national strike has started yesterday and it is fully complied with.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, says the sack of the Governing Council of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Unize Koka, will send a very strong signal to other councils doing things arbitrarily. The leadership of ASUU also described the removal of the newly appointed Vice Chancellor of the institution, Dr. Bernard Odo, as a welcome development, saying it was important for councils to follow already set rules in universities. Crisis had erupted in the university for weeks following the appointment of Dr. Odo and Mrs. Rosemary Former Nwokike as VC and the registrar respectively. Specifically, ASUU raised the alarm that the council, led by Ambassador Greg Uzumbambadiwe, did not follow the set rules, hence the reason for sending a petition to President Bola Tinubu through the Minister of Education. Reacting to their sack in an interview, ASUU President Emmanuel Osodeke warned governing councils of all institutions to always do the right things according to the rules. You're still on 2 News Hour on Trust TV. Up ahead. Lakurawa business owners lament prolonged power outage as festive period approaches. More when we return. Please to stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A look at some of our top stories. We told you that ACF meets in Kaduna, that is the Arewa Consultative Forum, slams leaders for laxity, barks Northern candidacy for 2027. We also informed you in Borno, 5 soldiers, 30 Boko Haram fighters killed in a clash. To more stories. The Nigerian Army has initiated an investigation into allegations that a Major General and some soldiers purportedly assaulted a couple in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. This follows the emergence of a viral video showing the alleged assault. The altercation was said to have happened after the soldiers stopped the couple for unlawfully overtaking their convoy. In the video, the military personnel could be seen attacking the couple before reportedly handcuffing them and transporting them to Gwarimpa police station. According to reports, the soldiers ordered the police to detain the couple indefinitely. In a statement on Wednesday, Army spokesperson Onyema Nwachukwu said the acting chief of Army Staff, Olufemi Oluyede, has ordered an investigation into the incident.
did I bust your car? How did I bust your car? How did I bust your car? How did I bust your car? Oh, God.
Jesus,
Oh.
Jesus, Jesus.
Oh,
No, Jesus.
Oh.
Come out. He's not feeling fine. He's not feeling fine.
He's not feeling, that's why he's dragging. My sister, come down.
Jesus.
Tofu.
Jesus! What did you do to my...
This is not good.
Over in Jigawa State, the 25-member committee established to investigate the petrol tanker explosion in Majia, Jigawa State, has submitted its findings to Governor Umar Namadi. The committee, chaired by retired Deputy Inspector General of Police Hafizu Muhammad Inua, presented a comprehensive report detailing the causes, casualties, and damages resulting from the tragic incident. Here's more.
The explosion occurred on the night of Monday, October 14th, 2024, when a petrol tanker crashed, leading to a devastating fire that claimed numerous lives and left many others injured. In response, Governor Namadi set up the committee to determine both the immediate and underlying causes of the accident. According to the report, several factors contributed to the disaster, including reckless night driving, poor road conditions, and excessive speeding. The tragedy escalated when Lucas rushed to scoop fuel, spilling from the tanker, triggering a fire that destroyed lives and property. The committee confirmed 209 fatalities, with 61 survivors discharged from hospitals and 38 others still undergoing treatment. To prevent such incidents in the future, the committee proposed several recommendations which Governor Namadi pledged to review and implement. He commended the committee for its dedication and assured them that the efforts will not be in vain.
Your Excellency, it was established that the incident was caused by a number of factors, including damaged speed breaker, the potholes located near the scene, night driving, overspeeding, amongst others. The inferno was most possibly ignited by combined factors, including but not limited to portions of metallic containers with hard surface as victims were scooping the spilled fuel.
When I was told that the committee is ready to submit its report, I was saying, are you sure they have finished? This shows the dedication and commitment you have put in this assignment. The report, as read by the chairman, is precise, concise, and address all the issues that is required. And I want to assure you that government will carefully study this report and implement it.
As Majia Town continues its recovery, the tragedy remains a stark reminder of the need for improved safety measures on Nigerian roads, as well as proper orientation for locals on the need to avoid such accident scenes.
In Adamawa State, at the recent quarterly ministerial press briefing, commissioners showcased their achievements, tackled challenges, and outlined bold plans ahead. The IAG, Minjiawa, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, declared the Fintiri administration's resolve to leave an enduring legacy by 2027. Gibson Swadigo has more.
The Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs kick off the final phase of the ministerial briefing with a spotlight on his ministry's milestones. Key achievements include renovating the Deputy Governor's office, building model schools in multiple local governments, upgrading government lodges, ensuring timely gratuity payments, implementing the minimum wage, and granting autonomy to local government areas. Mijinyawa emphasized the administration's unwavering commitment to workers' welfare, marked by consistent entitlements and bold plans for even greater progress.
Construction of modern pre-primary, primary, junior secondary school and multipurpose hall at the 21 local government of the state. The model schools was conceived by the 21 local government and got approval of the executive governor because the project falls in line with his 8-point agenda, one of which is the educational policy project of this government.
During the briefing, other commissioners echoed the sentiment, pressing the Fintree administration for setting a new standard in governance and driving transformative changes in Adamawa State.
Administration implemented the Treasury single account to handle all revenues and expenditure payments of recurrent and capital expenditure in a centralized manner for accountability and transparency.
The 3-day ministerial briefing provided a vital platform for insightful dialogue and idea sharing to drive Adamawa State's development forward. Gibson Soadgo, Trust TV News, Yola.
And from there we go to the South. As the 2024 Christmas celebrations draw closer, fashion designers in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, have once again appealed to the state government to, as a matter of urgency, restore electricity supply in the state. According to them, the continuous total blackout in the state is long overdue and is affecting their day-to-day operations, adding that the unavailability of electricity power supply has left them with no choice than using local pressed irons and manual sewing machine, which they say is stressful. Trust TV's Friday Boy Peter interacted with some fashion designers to ascertain how business owners are coping amid fuel price hikes and the continuous blackout in the state. Here's his report.
Fashion designer Faith West highlights some of the difficulties she's experiencing as a result of the blackout, coupled with the hike in the pump price of fuel.
The thing not dey me easy because of the way fuel don't cost. I no fit buy fuel, and if I use the price of fuel charge my customer, some they say they no go fit so these days I no dey even get work because of say light no dey, so it dey affect my work. And just dey like say I just dey do free work, I no dey get any gain inside, just dey work. But make person no just sit down like that, now it make me just dey do am. They use gas, put stove iron, they carry iron. So the thing they worry me, no dey fast like the one where light dey. The light on dey easy to control pass the manual one.
Others like Peace Augustus and Perfina Andrew said using charcoal iron and manual sewing machine is stressful and slows down the entire process.
We being the fashion design, we need lights to do our work. If you want to buy the fuel, a liter of fuel is 1,400 naira. And the fuel liter, they have adjusted the meter. If you can get fuel of 10,000 naira, you cannot use it to work like 2 clothes a day. You cannot get what you want for the 10,000 naira. Honestly speaking, the thing is not really easy at all. It's not easy with us. I'm using manual now, not the electric again. And the manual is very difficult. After you are finished sewing, I cannot even sew 1 cloth a day. I will have pains in my body, my leg, my back, everywhere. And after sewing for a day, full day, I cannot even sew more than 2 cloth a day because of the stress and the heat.
You know, easy. Now Christmas done dey reach. We go come put charcoal for this one, begin carry something, fan, blow till all that one dey waste time. No say this period, customers dey. Now this period na the only period where we dey take make our small money. Now, right now, I need to iron this thing, but to get up, go put charcoal, blow am, e dey tire me. See am, e off. E dey dirty customer clothes again. My dear, nerves. If I go out now, I wan sleep, my leg go dey tell me story. But if light dey, I go just plug am for this thing. E dey fasten my work. Now this one now, by the time I mash comot, I reach house, I no go fit sleep. Nerves go worry me. So e dey slow the work like say tomorrow no day.
The power outage in Yenagoa is more than 4 months now, leaving residents on total blackout. From Yenagwa, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced the introduction of the Utapate crude oil blend to the global crude oil market, significantly bolstering Nigeria's efforts to produce crude oil, generate income and promote economic progress. The announcement was made during a ceremony on Wednesday at the August European Crude Conference held in London, United Kingdom, where the Managing Director of NNPC E&P Limited, NEPL, Nicholas Foucault, described the launch of the Utapate crude oil blend as a major turning point for Nigeria's crude oil exports. It will be recalled that the first shipment of 950,000 barrels of crude oil was lifted and sent to Spain in July of 2024. According to Foucault, production has quickly ramped to 40,000 barrels per day. Also speaking at the event, the Managing Director of NNPC Trading Limited, NTL Lawal Shadi, stated that NNPC Trading plans to execute a term contract on the Utapate crude oil mix cargoes, primarily focusing on off-takers from the United States and European East Coast refineries in order to guarantee supply sustainability and predictability. Nigeria's energy sector remains volatile, with unstable prices hitting citizens hard. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced yet another setback in the ongoing rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refineries, delaying their long-awaited production restart. In this explainer, Abdullahi Ahmed unpacks the struggles of Nigeria's failing refineries and the ripple effects on the nation's economy.
Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer, has long struggled with an ironic dilemma. While sitting atop vast crude oil reserves, the country imports most of its refined petroleum products. Why? The story revolves around Nigeria's 4 state-owned refineries, the Port Harcourt Refinery, Warri, and Kaduna. Once the pride of the nation's energy sector, these facilities have become symbols of neglect and inefficiency. Built in the 1960s and 70s, the refineries have a combined capacity of 445,000 barrels of crude oil daily. At their peak, they ensured fuel sufficiency, drove industrial growth, and even supported exports. But the glory days were short-lived. By the 1990s, mismanagement, corruption, and poor maintenance began to take their toll. Today, these refineries either operate well below capacity or remain completely idle. Now, over the years, successive governments poured billions of dollars into so-called turnover maintenance. These funds, meant to restore the refineries, often vanish into opaque contracts and ineffective projects. The result? Well, broken promises and missed deadlines. Take the Port Harcourt Refinery, for example. A $1.5 billion rehabilitation project began in 2021 with promises of completion by December of 2023. That deadline slipped to December of 2024, and now even that seems uncertain. The story is the same for Warri and Kaduna refineries, which were supposed to be operational by the end of 2023. Now, the consequences of these failures are staggering. Nigeria imports over 90% of its refined petroleum, draining billions of dollars in foreign exchange annually. This reliance drives up fuel prices, disrupting supply chains and burdening citizens with higher cost of living. The NNPCL cites, quote, unforeseen risks in the rehabilitation process, but Nigerians are tired of the excuses. Promises of cheaper fuel and energy security remain unfulfilled, and skepticism grows with each missed deadline. So, what's the solution? Many experts advocate privatizing the refineries or adopting public-private partnership, much like the model seen in the Dangote refinery. Others argue for greater transparency and accountability in managing public assets. Until these reforms take root, Nigeria's refineries will continue to represent a lost opportunity, a stark reminder of the potential squandered by decades of poor governance. For now, the dream of self-sufficiency remains just that, a dream. And the question lingers, will Nigeria ever truly take control of its oil refining destiny?
You're still on to News Hour and Trust TV. Time now to join you for Kogu for Business.
The Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund has invested about $2.83 billion towards the attainment of key SDGs in the country since its establishment about 12 years ago. The Managing Director Aminu Umar Sadiq, while speaking during the House Committee on Finance Visitor and Oversight, also disclosed that NSIA ranked among the best sovereign wealth funds globally, ranking joint first with New Zealand in 2023. Spain and Ireland with 96% each in the ranking, Luxembourg and Sweden with 92%, Norway with 89%, Netherlands with 88%, Canada with 87%, Denmark with 86%, Panama with 84%, and France with 83%, all ranked behind Nigeria in the global sustainability ranking. He said the GSR reflects the agency's sustainability practice, including ESG policies, a robust framework, climate investment leadership, and impactful reporting. Nigerian Economic Society has warned that an expansionary budget as contemplated by the proposed 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework will increase liquidity, a possibility that will increase pressure on prices and Naira. The president of the society, Professor Adeola Adenikinju, said that with a planned deficit of 13.8 trillion Naira, though lower than the 2024 shortfall of 9.18 trillion Naira in terms of percentage of aggregate expenditure, as well as 64.39% nominal growth in the estimated spending, next year's budget will continue on expansionary fiscal stance. The statement also called for a rework of the proposal, as well as its core priorities clearly defined to achieve implementation traction along explicit lines of fiscal consolidation. While the NES acknowledged the modest increase in the nominal value of the budget proposal, it noted that in repurchasing power against the dollar, it is the smallest since 2018. NGS maintained bullish run this Wednesday as investors continue portfolio rebalancing. Topping the gainers today is Sunu Assurance. Sunu Assurance gained 10% to close at 2 Naira and 97 kobo per share. Austin Lars also gained 10% as well to close at 2 Naira and 20 kobo per share. Tantalizer PLC recorded 10% gain to close at 99 kobo per share. Of course, this has pushed up the index by 0.26%. Volume of trade 370.52 million shares, valued at 8.45 billion Naira, and it is of 10,026 did exchange hands among investors today. Of course, looking at the top trading equities by volume, HM Call lead the table there, 29.60 million shares it traded. Access Corporation 22.98 million shares, and of course United Bank for Africa UBA 22.45 million shares it traded as well. Some equities also recorded losses. Leading the losers today is Northern Nigerian Flour Mill PLC. It lost 10% to close at 33 Naira and 75 kobo per share there. RT Briscoe also lost 10% to close at 2 Naira and 61 kobo per share there. Of course, Multiverse also down 9.43% to close at 7 Naira and 20 kobo per share there. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Wednesday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Finally, oil prices were broadly stable on Wednesday as concerns about escalating hostility in the Ukraine war potentially disrupting oil supply from Russia offset data showing rising U.S. crude stocks. And the London market Brent crude sells for $73 a barrel. For the OPEC basket, price steadies at $71 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogo.
Thank you, Yusuf, for business. Now away from Nigeria. The United Nations say 4 Ghanaian peacekeepers were wounded in the Ramia area of southern Lebanon on Tuesday when a rocket struck their base. UNIFIL, the United Interim Force in Lebanon, said peacekeepers and its facilities were targeted in 3 separate incidents on the same day. Another peacekeeping base was damaged by a rocket fire in the southern village of Sharma, where heavy fighting between Hezbollah and the Israeli army has been taking place. In another attack, an armed person directly fired at a UNIFIL patrol near Kirbet Salim, but there were no injuries. UN Peacekeeping Chief Jean-Pierre Lakurawa said he is concerned about the ongoing hostilities between Hezbollah and the Israeli Defense Forces. Lakurawa reminded all parties of their obligation to ensure the safety and security of UN personnel and property. UNIFIL added that it launched investigations into each of the violent episodes and informed the Lebanese army about them. An attack by paramilitary forces that began on Tuesday evening has left 40 people dead, following a month of escalating violence in Al Jazeera state. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, at war with the army since mid-April 2023, first attacked the village located 100 kilometers north of Al Jazeera's capital, Wad Wadini, on Tuesday evening, eyewitnesses have disclosed. It is the latest in a month-long series of attacks on Al Jazeera villages by the RSF following the defection of a key paramilitary commander to the army side last month. According to the United Nations, over 340,000 people have been displaced from their homes in the state, a key agricultural region that was formerly considered Sudan's bread basket. It's time for sports with Adini Ajishafe.
Defending champion Dream Team FC have been crowned winners of the 6th edition of Abaji Football Coaches Cup after trouncing Kamsas United FC 6-1 in a one-sided final played at the Abaji Central Field, Abaji. 13 minutes after referee Yusuf Bale signified for hostilities to commence, Dream Team FC opened the floodgate of goals through Joshua Wire. Referee Bale awarded a penalty against Kamsas United FC in the 37th minute after a handball in the 18-yard box. The sports kick was converted by Joshua Wire, who notched his second of the final and 6th goal of the tournament to lead the scorers chart. Haruna he made it 3-0 for Dream Team just before the halftime from a pass in the 44th minute. Ramalan Saliu scored an eye-catching solo goal in the 64th minute to extend the lead by Dream Team FC to 4-0. Saliu added his second goal of the final in the 71st minute through Joshua Wire assist, and in the 82nd minute, Kansas United FC eventually had a consolatory goal when Hamza Suleiman scored from the penalty spot. A mere consolation for the beaten finalists. Dream FC had a final say through Joshua Wire, who netted again in the 86th minute to complete his memorable hat-trick, thereby taking his goal tally to 7 goals. The comprehensive 6-1 victory makes Dream Team FC back-to-back champion of the Abaji Football Coaches Tournament. The MVP and higher goal scorer awards was won by Joshua Wire of Dream Team FC with 7 goals. Best goalkeeper of the tournament award went to Saidu Abubakar of Dream Team FC. The team manager of Pandaki United, Musa Mohammed, and Ramalam Mansour of All Stars FC scooped the Fair Play Award. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that concludes News Hour tonight. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.